Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate Investor Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andressa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andressa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Investor Show, where we're all about empowering women to live a financially free and balanced life, and whatever that means to you, right, Andressa?
Indeed.
We appreciate you being back on another minisode where 10 minutes or less, depends on who's speaking. Usually I go over at least a minute, but 10 minutes or less.
Liar. You go 10 minutes over.
I could talk more, but we try to get to it really quickly because we know you don't have a lot of time and just want like a little bite-sized something. And this is where Andressa and I kind of share different ideas, whether it's real estate investing, business, strategies, or self-care. So I'm on this week. I'm going to be talking about why private money is an absolute must in today's economy.
Oh boy, get your pen and paper.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about, I know I've talked a lot about private money over the course of our, 4 years. We've had this community. That's how my husband and I really scaled our business, right? Really working with private money, equity partners, private lenders. And so I was thinking a lot about today's economy and how many women in our community, in our Facebook community, if you're not part of our Facebook community, where are you? Very supportive community. And what we do there is women share what's coming up for them, where their challenges are. And so many women right now are sharing that a lot of their, the institutional lenders are obviously getting more conservative. They're getting more nervous, right? Things dry up when there's, recession unfolding in front of us. There's no question. So ironically, this is when opportunities are going to increase. Absolutely. Especially in the last couple of years, how hot multifamily is, how hot we've seen a lot of the different, prices have just driven up, especially since COVID. So I think opportunities are going to increase. Money is going to get tighter, especially traditional, financing is going to get tighter. So the need for private money to broker and get into these projects is going to increase significantly. And we've seen it already, right? Even in our Strive community on Andressa, women partnering on deals, which is a beautiful thing. And one of the things that women get from, so they can learn, get to know each other. So I wanted to give some tips on, I'm not going to go through the current state of the market. We've been recording a number of episodes about that. We all know what's going on. Interest rates increasing, banks are getting more conservative, and obviously, costs are going up. So I wanted to share again, 3 strategies on private money to get back into your consciousness, especially if you're an investor who's done a lot of her deals herself. Right? She's used her own money. This is what private money is great for, because you have a track record. You have a proof of concept. Now, if you're listening to this and you've never done a deal and you want to go after private money, it's possible. I'm not going to ever say no, but in times like we're in, the need for a track record and the need for kind of knowing the what ifs is really important, because costs are going up. There is a level of conservative underwriting that needs to happen. You need to be careful. There's no question. You can grow significantly during these times, but you need to be careful as well. And that does come with experience. So if you are a newbie and you're listening to this and you want to raise money and have never done a deal, Godspeed, but go find someone who has. You need someone on your team as an advisor somewhere along the way that you can bounce your projects off of. So that's for that camp. Now, if you're the woman listening to this, you've done deals yourself, and you really want to expand into private money more during this time, because quite honestly, the opportunities, I had a call yesterday, opportunities are coming to you, I'm sure, and it's only going to increase, happening everywhere. Private lending. So working with lenders on a private level is obviously one of your options, right? Again, what that is great for. So you have to know what each of the private money pools are, what it's great for, and when it could be used depending on the projects you have. That's what people in this business do. It's not like I only work with lenders, I only work with equity partners, I only do this. You could say that, but more importantly, you need to know what tool is used for which vehicle. And if you can get a sense of that and really become very good at that, you're going to be able to raise money for different projects for different reasons. So lending, beginning, middle, and end, 6 to 12 months. That's where lenders are it's from a time frame perspective, that's where lenders could be very useful. Okay. There has to be an exit strategy so you can pay back your lender principal plus interest. It's very simple. We try to overcomplicate things for lenders, but that's the bottom line. They want their money back, because the longer you have their money, the more money you're going to have to owe them. We've had lenders on certain projects that went over, not working with Andressa because she drove timeline much quicker. But we had a project that went over on timeline, right? And we had a lot more interest to pay back that lender. They liked it, but it cut into whose profit? The borrower. So you have to really understand that lending is great for those projects to have a beginning, middle, and end. The exit could be a sale of a property, obviously the refinance, but there has to be an exit. So you can pull their money out and pay them their interest. I've seen interest rates anywhere from 8 to 12% right now, plus sometimes some points and how you structure them. I'm not going to get into because we don't have that time, but typically promissory note and a deed of trust or a mortgage security document are the two things that you tend to need. Again, read my husband's book. I'm not going to give a shameless plug, but read his book, Raising Private Capital, and you'll get more insight into that. But lending is a great tool for people who do not want to become a partner with you. They want to lend it, they want it back, and they want their interest rate. And again, you can negotiate. Everything could be negotiable when you're going to get, how they're going to pay you, the terms, everything is negotiable. But what we've structured working with lenders, it's really helpful to pay them at the end. It's helpful to pay them at the end so you're not cutting into your own project, your own cash flow. Just a tip. It doesn't mean it has to happen, but it's nice to be able to hold off on paying them back their principal and interest till the end. So that's what I got for you on lending. Equity is also another option you have as a private money option. We hear that all the time. People get very scared of equity. They feel like it's partnership. Oh, I don't want to go there. And then they just go down the lending side. There's certain projects right now, lending isn't going to work. I was talking to someone yesterday that buys single family homes. She bought single family homes and then she's renting them out to third-party companies. And the third-party company is basically assisted living. So she has these really phenomenal relationships. They need the homes for these assisted living clients. They don't want to go buy the home. She's buying the home. And it's almost operating as a commercial lease. Like a 10-year lease. It's not like a residential lease. So it's a really interesting concept. People are flooding her inbox on opportunity. She has like 15 of these and she's tapped out financially. Perfect person for a private money opportunity for her to figure this out. So she said, well, the exit is not 6 to 12 months. And she was just giving me some ways that she can structure this. And I said, then equity is more of a long-term play. So think of equity as a long-term play. It is partnership. You are going into business with someone. Right? Meaning you're going into business in the sense of, you're both on the hook. You win together, you lose together, I always say. So the bottom line with equity is that either partners are going to be active or they're going to be passive. And that's the big question mark you need to ask yourself as you think about Susie, who wants to work with you. She's got $100,000. Okay, is Susie going to be a lender? Is she going to be an active partner with me? Or is she going to be a passive partner? The structuring of all of those things varies, obviously. I will say so many times I see women partnering with friends. The partners are not doing anything except putting money into deals. And they're not filing with the SEC. And that's technically a security. People can't just passively invest in your deals and it not be filed with the SEC. That's against the SEC rules, technically. Again, I'm not an attorney, but what I know of raising money, that's a no-no. So you have to make sure people are active with you. And that could look a lot of various things. So I don't want to get into the weeds too much, but I want people to think about the 3 buckets as you're a strategic raiser of money, right? Private money is everywhere. And then the next question is, where do I find these people? But they either could be a lender, they could either be an active partner with you, or they could be a passive partner. And if they go down the passive side, that's more of like a syndication and you're pooling money together to go in and to buy a property. And that has a whole flood of things that you need to do to make sure you are, adhering to guidelines and rules in the SEC. So what I will say, though, is in terms of finding money, it's really simple, Andressa. Finding partners, whether they're a lender,
Wait,
whether active.
let me pause. Like that, she says, she look at my dad in my eye right now. She's like, listen to what I'm gonna say. So this might be very, very important, people. All right, go ahead, Liz.
So the easiest way to find people in your circle, because that's quite honestly where you're going to, it's not going to be strangers. Strangers aren't going to give you $100,000. Sorry to tell you, they're just not. It's not where it begins. Maybe when you grow your business, but not at the beginning, not your first private money part. It's me, someone you have a pre-existing relationship, most likely. Start talking about what you're doing with everyone. It's very simple. Now, how you do that can look very differently. I'm not saying oddly go into the supermarket, strike up a conversation with a stranger and talk about your investing. That's random, right? That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is we talk to people every single day. Start sharing what you're up to in your life rather than it being this closeted thing that you're doing. I do that often where people don't even know what I'm doing with certain things. And I'm getting even better with sharing what I'm up to with people. I was at a cocktail party. You love this, Andressa, with a woman. We were talking and I was sharing with this. And this woman was like, I didn't know you did. And I was just getting into this whole conversation. She joined our community. She's going to the local meetup. But I just started sharing what I'm up to, right? So I give that advice and do it in a way that works for you. You're an introvert, you're an extrovert. I don't care what your personality is. Share what you do. Share what you're up to in a way that works for you. That would intrigue the person enough to say, wow, that's really interesting. Tell me more about that. So that's what I have for you today. Number one, start sharing what you're doing with everyone, friends, your family, and do it in a way that's intriguing, rather than, I invest in real estate. Not interesting. Share specifically what you're up to. Actually, the market's really loosening up. There's so many opportunities. My challenge right now is actually getting into these deals quicker. And I'm actually looking for private money partners. Say that to people, whether they're that person or they know people. Start talking about what you need. People can't read your mind. Second thing is get really curious about be really curious and knowledgeable about lending, about active partners and passive partners. Start to know those three buckets. So when you do have an opportunity, you got a person on the hook, you know now where to put them in those three buckets. Obviously, there's more creative financing options. I'm not sharing about, owner financing, all those great strategies, but I'm just talking about more private money and how we built our own business and how we continue to build. So that's what I got for you this week.
Great. Awesome. Ladies, let us know. What do you guys think about it? We want to hear it. Send us your feedback on this post and let us know. Ciao. If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.